I'm Sean White, and today we're meditating on downward facing dog. So I'm not a big yoga person, but it is something that is insanely popular these days, and I feel like at this point you can't even take a rock and throw it without hitting a yoga instructor.
Ow!
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, are you a yoga instructor?
I am. Nice to meet you. I'm Kelly.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Kelly. I'm Sean. This is my friend Kelly, and she really is a yoga instructor and a caregiver and a wonderful person. And she's going to be helping out today, kind of teaching me, and by extension teaching you guys, how to do the downward facing dog position in yoga. Now, the reason why I want to do this one is because we just did a couple of videos all about hot dogs, and let's just keep with the dog theme. Right? We'll just keep going with dogs. Also, I feel like this is an insanely well-known position, even for people that don't do yoga. Like, you see it in commercials. You see it all the time. Like, so why is this such a popular position, and what are like the health benefits of doing downward facing dog?
Okay, those are two broad questions. I would say, personally, I can't say exact, but I don't know, it's kind of a kitschy name, downward facing dog.
Okay.
There's a play on that, I guess. Dogs do it if you have a dog.
Oh, no, I see my dogs doing it all the time. At least Micah.
Sure. So that would be my honest answer.
Okay.
As far as benefits, first of all, you may not know this, but it's an inversion, which means you're upside down, like a handstand or headstand. And those come with many benefits.
So what would be like a benefit of an inversion pose?
Well, there's lots of benefits. First of all, gravity. So now we're changing the blood flow from the feet to the head. Okay. So there's that benefit, circulating the blood without having the heart to have to do a lot of work. Okay. A fun little aspect is you get to see the world in another view, literally, because you're upside down. It has been said that it helps with the fight or flight mode. So if you're feeling anxious or even not thinking about death, but like the thought about death and all that, this gives you a new perspective, a way for you to work on. Okay. Those are just a few. Now, downward facing dog specifically works a few muscles. So for inversions, you're going to want to work on the shoulders, because that's going to be holding your body up now. So you're going to strengthen that area. And also, we always talk about the center of gravity and your core. Okay. Now, I have taken some yoga courses in the past, and anytime we've done downward facing dog, they mention that it's a resting pose. And I don't feel it comfortable or relaxing at all. Like, if I'm feeling it that uncomfortable, am I just doing it wrong? Well, so there are in the yoga community also that can be for another segment, but there are restorative poses. There are actual poses that you can use props to make it a restorative pose. You can make downward facing dog a restorative pose by just using a couple stacked blocks resting on your forehead. We can demonstrate that if you're interested later.
Definitely.
Not right now.
All right. Yeah. So why don't we look and see what my pose is, and you can tell me what I'm doing wrong, or what I'm doing right, for that matter. So before I begin, do I have to wear yoga pants to do this pose?
No, you don't.
All right. So we're on the mat now, and let's do a little down dog. So how do I begin?
I'd like you to start down on the mat to give you a real representation.
All right.
And we're going to make our way into child's pose. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Okay. So reaching the arms out long in front of you. Good. This gives me a gauge on your shoulder. There you go. Stretch the arms out nice and long without lifting the hips from your heels of the feet. Very good. All right, now imagine little tangerines below your palms. Let's lift up to the fingertips and let's walk the hands out as long as you can. Keep engaging, keep creeping out as far as you can, elongating the spine. Good, and engaging the arms. Plant the hands when you think you've reached your maximum length. Good. Now we're going to come up to tabletop, staying exactly where we are. You should be in proper alignment right there. Great. So as you can see, the shoulders and wrists are in alignment. Same thing with the hip and the knee. Okay, let's move on to the next. Curl the toes under. And when you're ready, begin to lift the hips as you straighten the legs. Good. And let's bring the head between the shoulders, between the arms. Good. That looks great. Reaching the heels down. So Sean has great shoulder placement. The hips are good. You should be gazing at the belly button. Heels are reaching for the earth. So points to consider is your hamstrings and shoulders here. And as you can see when we talked about early on, this is an inversion. Feet should also be hip distance apart, which they are. How do you feel here?
I feel good, but I can feel the blood rushing to my head.
Okay, one more thing I should talk to you about is the placement of the hands. Fingers should be spread wide, and I like the pinky tips touching the edges of the mat. Pushing into the fingertips. Good. And bringing the chest to meet the thighs is really the essence of this posture. Okay?
All right.
You can come right down. Perfect.
All right. Now that I'm blood to the head, I'm nice and flush now.
Were you breathing or holding your breath?
I think I was holding my breath.
Should never do that, people.
All right. Words of wisdom. That was great. I got kind of a better idea of what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong. So thank you for that. Now, if someone maybe just doesn't have the flexibility, they don't have the strength. I work with a lot of older clients that may not be able to do these poses fully. Is there ways of doing modified versions of this that they would still maybe not get the full amount of benefits, but still get a lot of the benefits?
Oh, sure. Just like we had discussed earlier about using props to make it a restorative pose. We can do the same thing with different levels of athleticism or flexibility.
Okay, would you mind working with me and showing me a few of those things?
Sure. We can talk about a few of the areas of concerns, and then I can give you options. So first area of concern is going to be the shoulders. Okay. Tightness in shoulders. Inversions requires the arms to come up overhead, usually hugging the ears. This isn't always, and arms are straight. This isn't always accessible to elderly people. Okay. Or the special needs community, which I also work with. Okay. So we have a few props that we could use for that. Okay. We also have hamstrings, the hips and hamstrings. That's another tight area. So we have another posture called puppy dog pose that can help lengthen the hamstring, which could be beneficial because that also is another area that we're working on. So legs, shoulders, and arms.
Okay. Cool. Let's get back on the mat and let's run through a couple of these then.
You got it.
So one of the modifications that you talked about was puppy dog pose.
Sure. Yeah.
So how do we do this one?
Okay. Let's use this wall as a space for you to practice on. So I'd like you to go up to the wall and press your palms on it. Sure. Okay. And we're going to walk our feet backwards and slide our arms down the wall, creating that proper alignment there. Good. All right. I want you to push out of the shoulders, so straightening the arms, elbows in. There you go. Good. All right. And gaze down at the belly. Like we did with downward facing dog, we're trying to reach ourselves towards the thighs. So we've got that proper alignment here. This should help strengthen and stretch the hamstrings here. How are you feeling in this posture?
I feel pretty good.
Okay. That's puppy.
Nice. Okay. And I feel like that one's very easily, instead of using a wall, you can definitely use like a chair for that one as well.
Accessible, sure. Sure.
All right, this is great.
Okay.
All right, well, that was great because now not only do I know the full pose, but I know the modified pose and everything like that. So with the props that we're using, some of which we already use, what are some good props that people should be just keeping in their arsenal if they're planning on doing stuff like this?
Okay, sure. First and foremost, blocks. They're
Okay.
easy. They're lightweight. Some are wood, some are cork, some are plastic. They come in 2 sizes, 2 thicknesses. Some of them come curved. There's lots of options.
Okay.
These are 2 of my favorite. I don't know the actual dimension or thickness, but they're all the same. And just a reminder, blocks can be used 6 different ways.
Okay.
Okay? And the other thing I would recommend is a strap.
All right.
Okay? It comes with 2 D-rings at the other end. This is great for lots of things. So these are 2 invaluable props.
Okay. I know I've used straps for like kind of doing like leg lifts and
Yes.
stuff like that to try to kind of get it like a little bit more of a stretch out when my body just kind of doesn't want to go any further.
Sure. Well, I also like to use this for restorative, which I keep talking about. So this is helpful for that as well. But yes, definitely for the legs.
Now, we're talking about doing these poses and everything, but is there times where people just shouldn't be doing these poses, or there's people that should just not take this on, or should speak with a licensed professional first?
Correct. Yes. So there are a few contraindicators of who should not be attempting this.
Okay.
People with detached retina or glaucoma. Okay. High blood pressure or history of strokes.
Okay. Because with the inversion, with the blood flow, that could throw things off.
Sure. Hiatal hernia up here,
Okay.
and acid reflux. That could be a consideration as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's, a few of those are to me blatantly obvious, but yeah, and like always, if you're ever starting any form of like exercise routine or anything like that, talk with your doctors. I always prefer that people start any sort of thing like that by going to an instructor, going to like a personal trainer, going to a dietitian. Don't try starting things just on your own when you maybe don't know what you're doing and don't know what the potential risks are. So I always think it's great to partner up with somebody first and then kind of move forward from there.
Yeah, I mean, just pop a phone call into your doctor and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting here. Do you have any concerns? They know you.
Yeah.
And then if they say, no, that's fantastic, move on to your next layer, which would be speaking with you or I or anyone else for that matter, you know, in their specialty.
Yeah, because that's a problem is anybody can have a YouTube channel and spout any sort of information, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right information for you. So always try to make sure that you speak with a professional before starting anything. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show because this is not a topic that I have a lot of information on or a lot of knowledge on, and I don't want to just YouTube it and get the wrong information. So I really appreciate you taking your time out today and speaking with everybody. If you want to find out more of what Kelly does, I will put a link to her website on the show notes, so you can stop and check her out. Not in a creepy way. If you like this video, please click the like button. Let your friends know about it. If you want to hear more of what I got to say, then subscribe and find out when new videos are coming out. And I love to hear from you. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think about what we're doing here. And until we speak again, be well, be safe, and be kind to everybody.